All right, three, two, one, go.
Hey gamers, this is Kita, and today we have a very special playthrough of Ocarina of Time. I have some people here to help me commentate.
Hey, I'm ZFG.
I'm Tharo. I made the tool-assisted demonstration.
So right there, we saw a very interesting file name. That's a very nice name for our hero here.
Yeah.
Any particular meaning behind this name?
It's one of the names of one of the people in my class at school a few years back.
Of course, yeah. Always nice to see runs dedicated to old friends.
KH stands for Kingdom Hearts. You should probably say like what run this is, just in case.
So what are we watching here?
It's a good idea. This is all dungeons as child. So this aims to beat all the dungeons. So that's enter the blue warp and obtain the reward from each dungeon, child and adult, and finish the game without ever becoming adult.
And the
Yes.
reason that that's significant is there's several things that make that seem impossible. Most notably, beating Twinrova. There hasn't been a way to do that until now.
Yeah, so even like normally in the game, obviously the adult dungeons have all these requirements that are like specific to adult, and over the years we found many glitches to get past these requirements and still be able to do them as child, through the use of lots of big glitches. But yeah, Spirit Temple was the last hurdle for a long time, and we finally have a way around that now. Oh yeah, light medallions. So technically, Light Medallion is not part of this. Light Medallion is not a dungeon. Temple of Time is not a dungeon, so that's why we have our friend LOTAD covering up the Light Medallion.
Yeah, you should probably like say what all dungeons actually means so that people know what they're watching.
So all dungeons actually means stepping in the blue warp at the end of the dungeons. The 3 child dungeons, Deku Tree, Dodongo's Cavern, and Jabu. And the 5 adult dungeons, Forest, Fire, Water, Shadow, and Spirit. So you have to step in the blue warp. Yeah, you have to step in the blue warp and actually receive the medallion or stone from the warp, and then beat the game.
I guess some stuff to think about for Twinrova. Even if you manage to enter the Twinrova like boss room as child with other glitches, you still can't even reach the Twinrova fight because the Naboru Knuckle doesn't even spawn to start with, so you can't open the door.
Oh,
so
that
you're
sounds
stuck
bad.
in the first room.
How are we gonna get around that?
That's something to think about. How do you avoid that in the first place?
All right, and we're off. Lots of side hopping. So I guess probably standard beginning, just getting rupees, getting sword and shields. Nice movement.
Yeah, absolutely. Just going for the sword and shield.
Yeah, that was some pretty low tad movement, pretty low optimization there. Only looked a little bit swaggy. No, this movement is actually really good. Really cool movement.
Movement at the start was kind of bad, collecting both rupees, but I mean, I didn't want to do like RNG manipulation for like the very start.
Oh, so that's what makes it a LOTAD.
Yeah, just put in the L in LOTAD.
Is this 1.0? I think it is. This is 1.0, right?
This is on 1.0, yeah.
What's the difference between 1.0 and 1.1?
There's a couple of like small differences. For example, in 1.0 you can grab the edges of graves and Karaka grave. Another interesting thing is there's one frame where you can like press an item in certain cases, like climbing vines and entering a crawl space. and that leads to some interesting version exclusive glitches, like blank A and a way to get down A for vines.
Very nice Z slide there, and then forest escape. Just clipping through the guard with high speed. Get out of forest early.
I wonder how much of what was just seen people don't know about yet. Because I feel like all of this stuff is standard. People see Link sliding backwards and clip a guard and they're like, just another day.
Yeah, for a lot of people who've watched a lot of OT speedruns, it's pretty standard. There's probably at least a few people that aren't too aware of it. There's always a few of those new guys. Hey, new guys.
They're gonna be very confused watching the rest of this run.
Yeah. I think there's gonna be some people that are used to OT speedruns that will still be confused.
Yes. I already watched this. I'm very familiar with Ocarina of Time, and I'm very confused by what I watched.
I skimmed through a little bit, and I spoiled myself a little bit. I saw some things I probably shouldn't have seen, but I wasn't exactly confused. I kind of got it, but I completely understand any confusion that may be happening when things come up.
We're talking about the LOTAD, right? That's what you watched?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's okay, I didn't spoil myself on the whole thing, just a few things.
Could we have skipped the owl? Is that a possibility?
I could have skipped the owl, but I actually want time of day to pass.
Ah, interesting.
Yeah, I think the only way you could, the only like fast way you could skip the owl in this case would be pause buffering, and then that's just gonna stop time of day from advancing, right?
Yep.
Oh,
so
this is
not
unique.
going straight to Carico this time.
I thought you weren't doing RNG manipulation.
Yeah, that's what I thought, and then I got to this part.
Whoa, what was that?
That's an analog slide into like a weird slide, and allows you to clip through certain rounded collision like rock. This movement is actually required to an extent because I want to make it before night.
Yeah, this looks like it's gonna be very tight timing.
It was extremely tight. I had to redo this bit to actually get there. You'll see just how close it was very shortly.
Nice.
Alright, and now the best part of Ocarina of Time speedruns. I'm sure
This
you've all
is what
seen
everyone's
this.
actually here for, right?
Yeah. I'm sure you've all seen this a few times before.
I'm sad we're doing the best part of the run so early. Is there even anything like left to say about getting this bottle? It's been seen so many times.
Yeah. Just manipulating Keko movement, trying to get them to run in the right way quickly.
Some lore. Back in the day, 10 years ago, people used to go in the grotto right here.
Oh yeah.
They thought that was the fastest way.
Yeah, the idea was you go in the grotto to reset the Koko's position for the one you use to fly over the fence, and you move it closer back to the pen, so you think, okay, well, it's closer to the pen, therefore it's faster. But no, it wasn't faster. And then also, there were some routes that actually got the 20 rupees in the grotto. So they kind of combined that, but still, it wasn't really worth it.
Oh yeah, no jump slash over to the grotto area. Sorry guys.
Yeah, I was gonna comment on that, but thought I shouldn't. But you brought it up anyway. Come on. Where's the
Thought I'd
jump slash? Nice quick little navy dive.
So I equipped sword earlier, and I don't really have any other items, so no blank A, even though this is 1.0. We're gonna have to do something a bit different.
Nice. Just playing around a bit, I guess.
Desync?
Desync?
This is being played back live, right?
Yeah.
Oh, looks like it coincidentally
Okay.
synced. It's all good.
Oh, that's good. Yeah, you've got some time to wait for the bubble there, so I'm messing around.
So what exactly? This trick is like not terribly old. Like what just happened?
Yeah, so the Ocarina dive going into the basement, there's normally a loading plane that loads the basement when you fall down the pit, but while you have Ocarina out, it can't load the basement. So he's in the basement while it's unloaded, and the invisible water from above is still there, and it extends downwards infinitely, so he can swim through the water that extends downwards, use the water to clip through a ceiling in the basement, and then can clip into the room with the bomb tubes from there. Normally you need explosives to even get in there, but that's one way you can get in there without blowing up the rubble. And get
Also,
bomb tubes
that's one of the least complicated tricks in this run, so get used to that.
Oh man, we got some A slides.
So now we can see just how close we made it.
Wait, what's with your B button?
Oh yeah, there's a bottle there. What's going on with that?
Oh, now you won't have a sword.
That's alright. Who needs a sword?
Oh hey, there's my buddy. Nice.
An interesting little oddity with 1.0 is the frame pull an item or something while you're grabbing onto things. So I thought I'd just pull out a chew while grabbing the grave, shut it off.
Whoa, 29 bomb shoes. Yeah, so with a bottle on B, it modifies parts of his inventory based on the item on C right. So doing that with Poe on C right gives bomb shoe count, put it up to 29. And then what, you caught bugs with Magic Bean on C right? And what does that do?
So we RBA'd magic beans which with bugs, so that puts a bottle with bugs in our light arrow slot. Also RBA'd Poe, so that gave us more chew.
Nice.
I think also we got a third bottle as well by RBAing empty bottle.
And that was a very nice hover over the gate.
Yeah, at this point we just have to assume that everyone knows what hovering is.
Yeah.
Our first dungeon. Never mind.
Don't worry, we're going back.
Our
Nice.
first dungeon.
That was a cutscene skip where it blew up the wall, which causes a cutscene to happen, and then he left right as the cutscene started to skip it.
DC hover time.
Oh boy.
Favorite new hundo trick.
Oh yeah. I love this trick. Oh man, that was really sick movement. Yeah, that's how you get bombs.
That was a dev shortcut. They put it in to test getting bombs early.
Hey, where are you going? Boss is the other way.
Yeah, but you know, getting there as a child. I mean, you can do it, of course. It's intended to do, but it's slow, and we don't have all we want for when we enter the boss room. We want to do some stuff in there.
Alright, I guess we'll do it later. When we're more brave to fight King Dodonga.
We're not powered up enough. We would just die to him.
Ah yes, the very tough boss fight, King Dodongo. Everyone remembers dying to him as a kid a lot. Love this Boron City house. Gotta get the rupees.
Did we really just go there for a purple rupee?
Yeah.
Nice. Red potion? Is that allowed? I've never seen someone buy a
Don't
red
see
potion.
that every day. So another A-slide
Neat.
clip under the Lost Woods rock. I wonder why I don't want to destroy those.
I'll remember that.
Yeah, keep that in the back of your mind. Those rocks weren't
Yeah.
destroyed.
More RBA here, getting more chews.
Red potion's coming into play right now.
Bye bye red potion.
Nice.
So
It
that was for a
healed.
bottle in the 4th bottle slot. And then catching a fish with chews on C puts a bottle with fish in the hookshot slot.
Okay, so how many bottles do you have now?
Quite a few.
I think that was what, 6?
Something like that. Yeah, around 6, 7.
Probably wondering what we need all these bottles for.
Yeah, this is all dungeons, not all bottles. What's going on? Keep that in the back of your mind as well. Lots of bottles.
Link breathes. Keep that in the back of your mind. It's important later.
Ooh, more A-slide clips.
But wait, we don't have a fish. How are we gonna get inside Jabu?
Like that.
Our first dungeon.
Or is it? Stay tuned.
Clean. You would think after all these years, Ruto would stop doing that.
Yeah, she just doesn't know her directions very well. Always clumsy and falls down. Her and Navi. Okay, so this is fairly standard jobby stuff. Just gotta take Ruto around the dungeon to just go get Boomerang.
We're getting Boomerang? You spoiled it.
Oh my god, I'm sorry for spoilers. How could I
There's
say
not
Cat's
a lot
out of
else
the
you
bag.
can do with Ruto.
Guess you're not skipping Boomerang this run.
No, looks like we're getting Boomerang.
This is abuse.
You lost a frame of lag to there. Or you lost a frame to that lag. You're not supposed to kill that guy.
But
It's a low tide.
yell at LOTAD part 2.
Yeah, that's what the LOTAD part is, I guess. Oh, I love the super slide. That super slide's so cool. And this one.
Alright. We're gonna find out if this run is cursed or not.
Now I know what you're thinking. Vibruto? Gross. Well, don't worry.
She's literally just vibing.
Very nice. This run's on good pace.
So I use Ruto to explode the chew to kill myself quicker.
So it's optimal.
Bro, he's not vibing, he's dead.
No Baronade.
Oh, you're leaving again?
We're never gonna beat a dungeon.
What? Where's this going?
Yeah, what's this all
Oh
about?
man. I thought all dungeons didn't need the mini dungeons.
Ice Cavern.
We
Yeah, Ice
obviously
Cavern
need
doesn't
the iron
count.
boot.
Oh man.
You tricked
That's so
me into
cool.
thinking you were gonna go through that.
So that room as child is actually really slow because Kokiri's sword doesn't actually do damage to Freezards. You have to use stick jump slash to damage them. So it's not really worth killing them.
So that's what you came here for, blue fire.
Yeah, blue fire. Just,
That
you
is
just
that
gotta be
important, huh?
the essential item. You see this in every category.
Oh yeah, of course.
But no, we actually need something else as well.
Oh.
Iron boots. Finally.
Didn't want to break the stick.
Fairy's always
So
good
that's
to
a
have.
random fairy drop from Crit Health. The resets are fast because this was made on the practice run but played on emulator, and it doesn't record like the lag frames.
And Megawhoop looks so cool with that camera.
Yeah, that camera's really good.
Alright, going to the Deku Tree?
Next
Or,
dungeon, possibly
different
first dungeon, maybe.
So yeah, going in here from out of bounds skips the first cutscene before entering Deku Tree.
Our first dungeon.
Oh boy.
So how are we gonna beat this as child?
You just beat Goma with Deku Nuts. Not special. Anyone who's played this game casually can do that.
Do we need the map from here? Is that what's happening?
No, just wanna kill that Skulltula, I guess.
Why?
Our Skulltula was offensive.
Yeah.
And we're dropping bugs.
This looks familiar.
So
Missed.
Oh no. So throughout being in the Deku Tree, we've been doing some seemingly random things like dropping bugs and fish and breaking the web after coming back through. And that's all to get actors into a specific location in memory. And we want a particular actor to be in a very specific spot. And that actor will be the heart that the scrub leaves behind.
You have that one right now. So all that loading stuff in a certain order was all to get that heart to load in a very specific location in memory.
I thought about trying this setup list, but LOTAD.
Yeah. I don't blame you.
Like, this is very complicated. Like, dropping everything to be in exactly the right place and still be getting the right position. That's a lot of work.
Yeah, this is
Far more
ridiculously
work
precise.
than anything you've seen so far.
Yeah, this is ridiculously precise in several different ways.
This is precise to like several. I don't know what like decimal precision, but like the third hex digit in memory has to be exactly right.
Okay, so what did that all accomplish there?
So by unloading, or by making the heart, by culling the heart, so preventing it from updating as we leave the room, we maintain the reference that the boomerang had to it. And so now the data that was being written to the heart, like position and rotation, are now being applied to other actors. And specifically, we made it line up with a chest in the basement. And that chest now has a different content.
And then that stuff in the water, like dying and reviving in the water, that was to activate get item manipulation, where he's supposed to be getting an item now. He was in the water and like didn't fully leave the water state. So when he picks up an item it will act like he picks up an item in the water, which means like he won't actually get the item until resurfacing in the water. But you can change what item you get if you go in front of a chest. So by going in front of a chest, like the chest that was just changed with the glitch before, you can get a different item. What kind of different items are we getting here?
So we're going to get 4 items. If you can see on the pause screen just now, We got Poacher's Saw.
Yeah, and normally get item manipulation only gives you one item based on whatever is in the chest contents, but the item in the chest right now is a very special item that can give you any item based on your angle. And so he's able to get a bunch of different items right now by having a different angle when resurfacing in the water.
Yeah, so the item in the chest is Zelda's Letter, and the variable it looks at is part of your analog stick angle relative to the map coordinate system, I think. And that's really easy to vary with in like tool assisted runs, so no setups needed.
Yeah, and then the
So we
repeatedly
got
dying.
Fro's Wind and Nehru's Love as well.
Oh, very nice. And the
As well as
repeated
a secret mystery fourth item that you won't see in the pause. Keep that in mind for later.
And the repeated dying was just to reset up the glitch, because normally once you get your item, then get item manipulation is over. But by dying and getting that weird camera, you can repeat the glitch over and over, because you essentially reactivate the glitch once you get the item that you get from get item manipulation. So you can just keep doing it over and over, and that's why you got multiple. More RBA coming up here.
I actually have no questions. This is all so straightforward.
Yeah, okay, so what was just RBA'd? I missed it. That was a lot.
We got more chews. Oh yeah, finally picking up nuts for the first time. We hadn't picked up any before now, so that we could use it to get item delay to do the get item manipulation. We RBA'd Poacher's Saw to get 4 songs. Zelda's Lullaby, Nocturne of Shadow, Prelude of Light, and Serenade of Water. Spoilers, we don't use Prelude.
And then did I also see RBA Boomerang?
We did RBA Boomerang for another bottle. We replaced our magic beans
Oh no, rip the beans.
with another bottle.
We really like bottles, apparently.
Yeah, bottles are pretty good. Just pick one up when.
To me, it looked like you were just getting a dozen eggs. So I'll take your word that you didn't just cheat.
Very nice mega flip there. That mega flip gets out of bounds and lets you go straight to the boss room from out of bounds.
Are we gonna do it? Are we actually gonna beat a dungeon?
No.
Wow.
The warp was right there too.
You're so close. Second try.
Oh yeah, here's the best bit of the route, by the way.
Leaving the Deku Tree?
Oh, no.
Into the cutscene.
Nice.
Cool. But then what was the point of skipping the cutscene in the first place?
I think it's faster to skip the cutscene from Link's house. I could be completely wrong.
Oh,
though.
interesting.
There are 2 reasons for this. First of all, by exiting the tree, it puts us on the other side of the clearing. And second, well, I guess we'll see later, actually. I mean, we didn't beat the dungeon, so we have to come back.
Spoilers.
Well, we just do have to come back. That's not a spoiler. That's part of the
That's part of the run.
category.
Yeah. We have to beat the dungeon. That's the whole point. So again in Goron City, we have to skip the rocks.
Hovering over the rocks, nice.
Yeah, I couldn't get a weird clip from that side.
This is the only time I've ever seen anyone hover over the rocks.
Yeah, that's a new one.
So we're back in Goron City. Again, after leaving and re-entering.
Lots of leaving and re-entering here.
This mega flip is very precise, both in position and angle, because you can't get the correct camera allocation. There's some camera-based memory allocation in this, and I couldn't get that with the one mega flip that I was able to get setup-less with a good position. So just resorted to the setup. So doing some more stale reference manipulation, this time with a held actor instead of the boomerang.
I wish I was a held actor.
And what did all that do?
So the value
seemed
we
very
modified was part of a pointer to code that gets run when you talk to Darunia. So essentially what we've managed to do is redirect code that would run when we talk to Darunia to our controllers, and from that we load a value from one of the slingshot seeds, and then we use our file name to store that to our equipment. So now we have Mirror Shield equipped. We have Tunic value F, I think. And it's a slightly darker green. And we also have Boots value F. And that has a very strange property. It has no gravity. So when you side hop, you keep going up forever.
That's a
seems
fancy
like
way of
it's-
saying L to levitate.
It's not
That
quite
seems-
L to levitate. If you backflip with these boots, you soft lock unless you have something hit your shield.
Yeah, the only way to fall down is with a jump slash, right?
Yeah, that's the only way you can fall. So if you get yourself in a state where you can't jump slash back down, you will not get back down, and you'll fly forever. You will go far away and never return to the map. Another thing is if you get damaged while in the air, you go into that air knockback state. That air knockback also soft locks you, essentially. You can't do anything. So there's a lot of limitations with this. It looks pretty powerful, you know, being able to fly almost, but not quite. There's also a lot of kind of movement restrictions. Like turning in air is impossible. You're always facing the same direction. You can kind of vary roughly which direction you move in, but not by a whole.
Our first dungeon. Never
Needed to
mind.
reset there for health and cutscene pointer.
Our first dungeon. Hopefully we're gonna actually finish, because I can't keep this up. This reminds me of the Dudong's Cavern IL.
Yeah, they were well ahead of their time.
Yeah.
So remember that fire temple skip everyone was talking about?
Yeah, this seems like a very nice use of F boots. That's so good.
But wait, how are we gonna beat the Flare Dancer?
So with a ground jump, I can get some easy wire velocity.
Super ground
The
jump.
door at the top isn't locked, so we're just gonna leave. Bye. The mini boss music still plays because I guess the game just decides, you know what? For as long as the boss is alive, keep playing the music, but we never kill the boss, so it never gets told to stop playing the music. We keep this music for a bit.
The boss is down, not up.
That's where he's going. Sometimes you gotta go up to go down.
Gotta spend money to make money.
Yeah.
Just to say again, like these boots, so the game has like a gravity value. It's normally at -4, so it adds -4 to your speed, your downward speed every frame. But these boots, and that's dependent on what boots you're wearing, because iron boots change your gravity. And these boots are glitched boots, which you can never normally wear, and so they don't have a proper entry for their gravity. And the value that it happens to look at for their gravity is 0. So you don't move up or down. You cannot fall unless you jump slash, which overrides your gravity.
Okay, we have 20 seconds.
Could probably also explain equipping hammer. That's with equip swap. You normally can't equip hammer as child, but using equip swap you can equip it over a different item slot. That's actually one of the things found in more recent years to be able to beat some dungeons as child, because a long time ago you could beat, like, I think Forest, Water, Shadow were the ones you could beat, and then you couldn't beat Fire and Spirit. Until more recently, Fire was able to be beaten once equip swap was found, and Spirit, more recently with, I guess, Ace.
There is still one unsolved problem with Spirit Temple. How are we going to get into the correct room in Twin Rover's room?
Oh yeah.
Because
yeah, you
still can't open the door. You still can't get Nabura enough with the spawn at all.
Yeah, equipping Mirror Shield isn't gonna solve anything if you can't even get to Twin Rova.
Exactly. Here's another thing. If I can't backflip or side hop properly, how am I going to do Ocarina items on the Blue Warp?
That's a good question.
Moreover, it's not really a problem for this, but in like a real-time setting, you'd have a lot of trouble doing a setup for your wrong warps without backflips and side hops. So there's a small window before the Blue Warp is kind of fully loaded, where you can stand on it without it triggering. So I can do like ESS, Ocarina items.
I'm so confused. It looked like you were doing normal side hops for a few of those.
Oh yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, while you're targeting enemies, specifically enemies, like you can't do it with a bombshell or something. You can do normal side hops. Your gravity is normal.
Oh.
And we actually use that a little bit later, so that's actually quite important.
This is 500 IQ hovering.
Oh yeah, hovering with these boots is really interesting.
Broke. Bomb
So,
hover.
oh yeah, the way loading zones won't activate unless you have some like downward speed before them. So you can go over loading zones with these boots because you don't have any downward speed towards the loading zone, so it just won't activate. So why did I get Nehru's Love? We'll find out shortly.
Alright, we're about to beat our second dungeon. The fight looks pretty normal to me.
Nice. Escaping
Are we
the fight.
allowed to Can you leave the arena? Is that against the rules?
No leaving the ring.
It's actually not possible to leave the room even with these boots. There's no clips.
Whoa.
I'm very curious what Blue Diamond is for here.
So yeah, we need the blue diamond for this. So another feature of these boots is knockback has been just completely changed for some reason. While wearing these boots, you can't ESS out of knockback, so you can't Hess or anything normally. And this cutscene actually goes longer than the warp, so I can't stand on the warp to do a cutscene skip. And I'll explain why that's important in a moment. But so I'm going to set it up for the cutscene skip. I'm going to drop and catch bugs, set a bomb down, and I'm going to do a Nehru's Love hair. And I'm going to do time stop with shield and bottle, so that gives me control.
Wow.
And then I can do the cutscene skip.
That was probably the most complicated cutscene skip I've seen.
This definitely, I think, is the most complicated. And the reason why I had to do all of this is not just because, oh, I wanted to cutscene skip. It's because if you watch that cutscene, the whole set of cutscenes as a child, you will crash. You cannot finish those cutscenes.
This is a real Ocarina of Time run that we're watching right now.
There are no cheats used in this run. No outside modifications.
Yeah, these boots are glitched boots, which were obtained with arbitrary code execution.
That's so cool. I love all the like small optimizations you can do with this.
The boots, like optimizing boots movement was really interesting. Obviously it's not like fully optimal. I didn't spend that much like time doing each segment, but kind of thinking of the cool little movement things that I can do was
Like that.
really interesting. Another feature of these boots is some entrances soft lock you, if you're in the air after you enter an area, and that area also has a cutscene that plays when you enter it, you soft lock because the cutscene played while you were in the air. And because you never leave the air, you don't ever regain control.
Interesting.
So that's another thing that had to be like. So a lot of these boots limitations were mostly routed out, so you'll never really see these come into play. But there were a lot of reasons why the arbitrary code execution was delayed for as long as it was. Like I couldn't really do it much earlier. There were ways to get around it and try it earlier. Like there are some ways to specifically avoid certain ways. Like one of the soft locks would have been in Jabu with the Jabu entrance intro, and that one was avoided by routing it out. But you could have done some tricks to avoid.
All right, don't forget there's Pharaoh's Wind in Ice Cavern. That's probably important.
Oh yeah, setting Pharaoh's Wind and Ice Cavern, definitely keep that in mind. So there is a hole in this wall. It's where old boat skip was done. We can hover out of that and go somewhere.
I wonder where somewhere is. It's
into the boss room. So none of those hovers were like out of bounds chew hovers. The first 3 chews, one of them was like a double chew hover. They were all inbound, and the other one was on top of the corridor. Since this is 1.0, we can do quick bongo kill. It's actually important to do quick bongo kill with these boots on, because if you fall down there with the boots on, you fly back up because the drum pushes you back up and you don't have any gravity to pull you back down. And that soft locks you. So
nice.
This is important. I caught the bugs in a bottle before killing Bongo, because you barely have enough time to sprint to the blue wall. Otherwise, I would have had to use Nehru's Love again. But that was avoided, thankfully.
Just be fast.
That was very close. Much closer than it looked.
So we have 3 dungeons done now, right?
Yep, that's fire, fire, forest, and shadow, and part of the 3 child dungeons.
There is no partly done dungeons. It's
We've
either
entered
done or it's
all
not
the child
done.
dungeons, but haven't finished any of them as of yet.
It's either done or it's Jin.
The god RNG. I'd like some bomb drop luck like that.
Here's a neat way to enter Water Temple.
That cockadoodle-doo was actually from Link. He's trying to be a rooster.
Good lore.
Very nice way to enter water. Is you swimming faster with these boots too?
I'm not sure actually. I didn't check how fast he was swimming. Didn't occur to me to. What are those lights?
Those are the torches.
Why is the
I think.
water drained?
Oh, hey, yeah, what?
So the 4th item that was GIM'd in Deku Tree was actually flags for Water Temple, and those flags set the water to be drained.
Why is that important though? You didn't even go in the water.
That is important, and you'll see why soon, very soon.
My mental notepad doesn't have enough RAM for this.
Gotta download some more. So more RBA. That RBA was very difficult because, as I mentioned before, the knockback is different. So I had to use 2 bombs and a wall. I think I could have got it in 1 bomb, but you know.
Link's expression is the same as my own.
So that RBA'd sticks and chews. I think that's all that we got there.
So we're already at the boss, so I'm very curious why we would have to care about water temple, water level. Definitely keeping that in.
This fight's going well.
Nice jumps.
Oh no, still made 1 tentacle.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I tried to get it, but it's,
So yeah,
didn't really seem any good.
even without hookshot, you can still beat Morpha. The Morpha normally need to like hookshot the ball out of Morpha's tentacle, but the ball is actually still vulnerable. Like if you go in the water and climb out, there's a short amount of time you can actually still hit the ball, and that's how he's beating Morpha S Childs.
He didn't one
Nice.
cycle because he's farming for content. He's trying to make it longer than it has to be.
I see the purpose of why it was 2 cycle and not 1.
So I had to cutscene dive off Morpha to get close enough to the warp so that I can do a cutscene skip after this. Because otherwise I wouldn't be able to reach the warp in time before it fully loads.
The interesting ways you have to like come up with cutscene skips for this is really interesting.
Yeah, the cutscene skips were definitely one of the most interesting parts of like theorizing for this.
Yeah, I didn't even think about how that might affect the run. This is really neat.
Oh yeah, by moving while targeted with like a very small amount of speed, you kind of just slide across the... It's just another feature of those boots, making movement weird.
Is there anything those boots can't do? Okay, yeah, we're still here in Water Temple, even though we have no reason to be.
So here's why the water level was drained. We're doing some other stuff with the central tower. I'd like to thank Blinny for helping with this clip. This clip was really kind of difficult. It was very unique as well, because the boots and their movement properties make clipping pretty hard. In the conventional way, at least. So we get out of bounds, then we hover over to the area with the rocks near the boss. The waterfall that the rocks fall down has no roof, no ceiling, so we can hover out of that. We're currently standing on some out of bounds spikes, and when I have 1 heart, I'll use Thror's Wind at the same time and fall into the void, and return Thror's Wind at the same time I void out. This returns me to Ice Cavern with the entrance, with the room number and coordinate of Water Temple, the tower door that we entered. And then I zombie walk back in bounds. That's entering a like a scene with no health. Allows me to do a side hop in air, and then I have a fairy revive me. So I'm back in Ice Cavern, and I reset Thror's Wind. Now with that, so the entrance that Thror's Wind will take me back to now, if I were to use it, would be Ice Cavern, but with the room and coordinates of that tower door in Water Temple. And that's important for later.
I don't even know what to write down in my mental notepad, so I just have a bunch of question marks.
Oh hey, you want to equip the special boots? Is that all?
Yeah, I had to unequip the boots to actually do the void warp, the Thror's Wind dive. You can't dive no gravity.
Oh yeah, makes sense.
So,
Not a good run.
Bye bye boots. Yeah.
So we're back to normal Ocarina of Time now. Nothing weird's happening or anything.
Finally going to beat another dungeon though.
This fight is so normal.
It'll be less normal soon. I assume.
No, that's it. Everything else is glitchless.
Yeah, sorry guys, we already used up the glitch quota. Couldn't fit any more in.
Are you sure? This looks like a glitch coming up.
Oh, maybe not. Maybe we have room for some more.
I guess you could say Link is attracted.
So yeah, this is the Jabba Wrong Warp as a child. Getting out of bounds is a bit more challenging as child, but luckily with enough height you can slope clip out.
And yeah, there's a loading zone still in that room that goes back into Jabu that you're normally not supposed to access, but hitting that loading zone as the blue warp is finishing wrong warps you to Kunzongo's room.
Link looks so shocked, like he didn't plan this whole thing.
Oh yeah, and the cutscene that played when we entered King Dodongo was leftover cutscene data from when I played Serenade back in, like, it just never got cleared and we never watched any cutscene. like after that. So it just played like some stale cutscene data from that.
Nice. Right the squish.
If King Dodongo swallows a bomb at the same time it explodes, he stays lit.
I also stay lit.
So, a property of wrong warping allows me to use items that would otherwise be restricted in a scene. So I can use Thror's Wind, which I otherwise would not be able to use in a boss room, to do a Thror's Wind wrong warp using that ice cavern entrance that we set up. And that takes us to the Spirit Temple boss room.
Oh man. The back-to-back wrong warps.
So yeah, that was a double wrong warp from Baronade to King Dodongo, and then from King Dodongo to Twin Rover. I believe this is technically an alternate scene setup. The door is invisible. There's just no texture to it in
Yeah,
this
great
scene
great
setup.
door.
Another good thing is that this door is open, so we can actually access the boss fight. So that's how you enter Twin Rover's room as child. Luckily, we still have Mirror Shield equipped. We never unequipped that from when we did Arbitrary Code Execution for our equipment.
Yeah, even though it's invisible, it'll still act like normal.
We had the mirror shield all along.
Yeah. We will prove to you that it's Mirror Shield that we've been wearing this whole time.
It worked. Okay.
There it is.
I'm not worried anymore. I think we can finish the run.
Nice. I was hoping to get to see that get used someday.
Because it just happened to work out because they flew behind, so...
Yeah, so normally
It's
when
pretty-
you're using... normally when you're using a two-handed weapon, you can't use Mirror Shield, but for some reason you can reflect the Twin Rover beams with it, but it goes in the opposite direction. I don't know what's up with that, but it's pretty neat.
I think it just detects that the shield is like on your back. And
Yeah, I guess.
just reflects in that direction.
I don't like that she winked at him. He's like 10.
You can see the whole shield now. It's
Yeah, Mirror
almost
Shield's
as big as
visible now.
Link.
I don't like this either. Bro, they're not vibing, they're dead.
Oh no.
How many dungeons are left? Do we just have Deku Tree and that's it?
I think so.
Yeah, that's the only one left now. So again, since we wrong warped into this scene, we can use restricted items again to do an easy cutscene skip.
Yeah, and the Feroz Wind set earlier doesn't get unset if you use it for a wrong warp, so it's still available here in Ice Cavern. And then
So we return to Ice Cavern, we void out, it takes us back to the start of Ice Cavern, because Ice Cavern has a special void plane, which always takes you back to the entrance, and then we can leave and reset.
And time for the final dungeon. Nice pause. A very important pause.
What? What was that pause?
That pause was important.
A very
I will
important pause.
write it down.
Definitely something to go
Please
in
write it
notes.
down.
I wanted to do the ground clip 231 skip again, but then something came up with Ganondorf, so I ended up redoing this section, which also involves an extra pause, which I could have used the pause in Link's House for, so L and LOTAD.
Nice.
Alright.
So there we go.
final
Mirror
boss.
Shield's finally gone.
The mirror shield, no. Yeah, so for some reason the mirror shield cannot reflect the nuts shot from the scrubs.
How are we gonna enter the blue warp?
By stepping into it.
Yeah, this blue warp doesn't have the same issues that we had while we had the boots on.
I think I've seen this trick before. Whoa. Oh! This trick.
Here's another setup.
There's one guy in chat freaking out that you just went from Deku Tree to Ganon's Tower.
So that was a triple bomb push clip to skip the collapse.
Yeah, so with a super precise bomb push, you actually get out of bounds. You can go all the way to the bottom of collapse without actually starting the beginning, like going outside. Normally you go outside and the whole cutscene starts and you actually get the whole tower collapse sequence starting, but you can skip that whole thing by just clipping out of bounds and going out the bottom from the invisible out of bounds below area.
So part of the motivation for me opting to end with Ganon is that there's this category called Max Bosses as Child on the extensions leaderboard. So I thought, you know what, a little nod to them.
I prefer this ending. All dungeons deserves a Ganon ending.
Okay, let's not get political here.
Oh yeah, yes we are.
Oh no.
Free Ganon.
Optimal dungeons as Child route would probably try and get some kind of timer and do a timer wrong warp from fire as the end. But I'm not sure how that would play out. Getting a timer without ever becoming adult is pretty difficult.
Yeah, I think the only timer you have access to is from Ganon's castle in the first place. So then you're kind of in
A really silly way to get a timer would be to do Zelda's letter, get item manipulation, and then equip swap frog and get drops.
Oh, you can actually do that. That actually sounds
Yeah,
amazing.
it's really silly. And then if you have to actually dupe over the slot, you have to RBA green potion.
Nice.
But doing all that for a timer is a bit silly. So.
Not the Master Sword.
He's down.
Well, not yet. I mean,
No,
technically this
he's
run
down.
can still.
He's down, as in he's on the ground. He's not dead yet, but he is.
Oh,
you
he's
know.
down, as in he's like down
Yes.
for this run to be over.
Yes.
Like he's down. Okay.
He's on the ground, unable to stand, in a position ready to receive the final blow, and there it is. Now he's actually done. It's over.
Alright, that was all dungeons as child.
That was very cool.
So there we go, yeah. That's beating all dungeons without ever becoming adult before all those dungeons have been beaten.
Yeah, so thanks for that. That
And
was
to all of you who know that you become adult automatically in the credits after the Ganondorf cutscene, not clever.
Yeah. The run ends as child. So yeah, thanks for that. That was a very cool run.
Yeah, no, it was really great to make, and I learned a lot while doing it. It was really, it was really enjoyable.
Yeah, I learned a lot just watching it.
So, I mean, I feel like I want to thank a few people who were kind of, involved. I want to thank, all the SRM and Ace glitch hunters like Fig and glitches and stuff. Danny, all of you guys.
Yeah, there's
I
been
also
so
want
much.
to thank Blinny and Natalia has died for, helping out a lot with kind of aspects of the run specifically. And also to Tob and Simar, who were also involved in kind of looking at the route and suggesting improvements. It was a great help from all of you.
Yeah, for all the SRM and Ace stuff, people have been working so hard for so long on the SRM and Ace stuff. Like, it was found in late October, early November, and people have non-stop been working on it for months now, and so much has come out of it. So huge shout outs to all the people working on that.
Shout out to Tharo for making this run.
Yeah, shout outs.
Shoutouts to Glank again.
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
always,
Shout outs
always
to
shout out
Glank again. I mean, Glank was also like a a huge help actually with putting this run together, because this was made in 2 parts of a GZ macro, and I asked Blank, hey, can you put this together? And he was really kind of involved in getting this all kind of finished and polished. So I want to thank Blank as well.
Oh yeah, so is this a GZ macro that can actually be released?
Okay,
people can
so
actually play back?
the thing is with this macro is there was an oversight during the Ace where I dropped the held actor in coordinates that modified graphics related data in Darunia, which corrupts his nose texture, which crashes a real Nintendo 64. However, you can replay this on console on the latest version of GZ if, when Darunia's room is loaded, you hide actors with GZ to prevent Darunia from being rendered.
Okay, that's interesting.
What was it? His nose?
Yeah, it corrupts his nose texture.
Practice run macros should be able to play back on both VC and N64. The one issue with this one in particular, though, is Ace will crash on VC, so regardless of like the Darunia nose thing, that it'll never play back properly on VC. But otherwise, in other circumstances, it should sync on both N64 and VC.
Yeah, Glank actually did replay this on console a few days ago, and that's how I know about the nose corruption issue. So I mean, I can release the macro. I probably will. I can include it in like the video description. But you have to remember that it will crash at Darunia unless you hide act. You only need to hide actors for that section, obviously. You can switch them back on as soon as it's...
Also, for reference, if anyone's thinking that it doesn't count, like, technically you could use inverted camera to hide Darunia.
Well, I
you
think
could use
like,
inverted camera, or you can not make the mistake I made and drop the held actor at... There are specific ranges of coordinates which work, which don't cause crashes. You could just drop the held actor in those coordinate ranges instead.
Wait, so if I go back in the video and look at Darunia, will I actually be able to see like some kind of corrupted texture on his nose, or is it like not really visible in the video?
I don't know how clear it is with the camera angle and the resolution, but you should definitely see something wrong. Yeah, it is a visible corruption. You can see it.
I'm gonna go back and see if I can see it real quick. Oh, I kind of see it. It's like really tiny. We got a tiny little nose.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to see on the video, but
yeah,
it is definitely there.
Oh, did that sound go through on the stream? Sorry, guys. I went to check the actual video file for that. Okay, I guess we are pretty much done. I don't know if we want to go through the rest of the credits.
You should show the nose texture on stream for those.
Oh yeah, I guess I can try that.
I mean, some people can't navigate themselves.
Yeah. Well, okay. Let me go try to find the nose texture thing. Hard to navigate. No, I just had it. Okay, it should be like right here. All right, it's kind of hard to see, but his nose, like a little bit weird. It's very small though. Yeah, zoom in. I don't know. I don't know how much I can really. I don't think I can really zoom in, but you can see it's looks slightly different than usual, I guess. So that's it, yeah. Okay, so yeah, I guess that's it. Hope everyone enjoyed that.